Welcome to TLC for the Soul podcast, where soul meets spirit. You have entered into sacred space. I'm your host, TAMI Chambers, and I'm here to help you shine. Now let's get going on this podcast journey. Hello, friends. Hello, and welcome to this Bringers of the Light activation. You can get all my gear in my pocket. It's a little cold today. You may hear the rustling of my jacket. I'm going to come today and do one of the things I do best, which is give us all these little pep talks and get us going. As we've had huge energy shifts overnight in preparation for the Jupiter Uranus conjunction on the 20th. Before I dive in any further, I want to wrap us all in love light and light love, inviting in the guides who overlight TLC for the soul, Archangel Michael, Archangel Metatron, the Pleiadians. Been called into action after some inaction. You noticed we didn't have another Bringers of the Light Sunday. I was dealing with some weird resistance and heavy energy around divine timing that I had to work through. And I finally felt this shift over the past, over the past like 24 hours, things starting to shift. So Spirit has cleared the way for me to pick up the microphone and make this show. Even though there's things that are still in my reality that may seem like blocks. Okay, so everything we're talking about here, when I bring up anything, this is all part of the message. Anything that happens within this container is meant to be shared. You may hear some wind. I'm actually outside doing my shaman's walk up to the medicine wheel. It's kind of cold. It's on like 30 something. It's very windy though, so you may hear a little bit of wind in the microphone. The first thing I noticed on the walk up is we've had rain for the past couple of days, and there is a huge amount of earthworms all over the trail. I mean, so much so that I'm like, left, right, step over a worm. And they're all different sizes. Little baby ones, big one, big disgusting looking ones. Disgusting looking ones. And when I pulled a card right before I left, I said, what do you want me to focus on? They gave me, I pulled from the Trick or Treat Tarot, and they gave me the 10 of Pentacles. And that 10 of Pentacles card is the Munsters, the family, the Munsters from that show. And if you remember or know anything about that show, even the Addams Family too, it was this family like us, like the Bringers of the Light, all different types, right? There was Frankenstein, and everybody in the family was different. There was a regular looking human being, was she the niece or whatever? So in the almost daily short this morning that I posted on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, I've got very strong messages about things turning and shifting due to this Jupiter-Uranus conjunction. We're already starting to feel the energies flow in from this. It happens exactly, I guess, on the 20th. It's being likened to having the energy of yet another eclipse. So you could think of it as like the third eclipse out of the 3 that we've just had, or out of the 2 that we've had prior to this. Then we do some integration on that. I think we have the full moon next in Scorpio. Yeah, I'm not a fan of Scorpio energy. And I'm charging shadow work. And then Mercury retrograde comes to an end around the 25th, even though I know the shadow goes on a couple weeks after that. So this morning I woke up and I was like, okay, I felt like there was a new, well, it's not a new energy stream. So this is like I said, plug in with your master senses, call in your guides, listen to this as many times as you feel you need to. Like and share the darn thing. Okay, so like and share the darn thing, because they're telling me, like, lately I said, you know, I walk through the store and I talk like, you know, I'm talking to, just like pretty much live by myself, even though there's a teenager around all the time. He's mostly doing his other thing. So I'm always talking to myself and talking to my guides. And so I do the same thing at the store. And I told my son, I'm like, I can use the old lady card. I'm an old lady and I can say whatever I want. Women reason, of course, and with my discernment. But there I go, getting off track. This is supposed to be an activation. I'm almost to the medicine wheel, and I feel like they want me to like walk to a part of it. So there's a new energy stream available, not new to me and not new to you. So I woke up this morning, and after about, I don't know how many days now, 4 or 5 of like feeling like I was really in resistance about divine timing and trusting the universe. Today I was like, I can't do this anymore because it's wearing my body out. I could feel it in my body. I could feel it in my emotions. I even was like, well, my twin is not here on the 3D. You know, he's never going to contact me, so I'm just going to pretend like he's dead. I'll just pretend he's a spirit on the other side. So that didn't work. Oh, because I felt horrible. I just felt absolutely horrible. I couldn't do it for more than a few days. I just felt like this is not working. I feel like that's not the answer, because the heart connection, in a sense, kind of closed down a little bit, and I was like, this is not working for me. Oh my God, it's super windy up here. Okay, let me see if I can just shield the mic with my hand. And so this morning I woke up and I'm like, I can't do any of that. I can't pretend this connection isn't real. I can't pretend that I feel the way I feel about certain things. And I can't stop trusting the universe to deliver what it needs to deliver, because it's all causing this horrible heaviness and resistance in the physical body. And I went through a huge, very profound shamanic extraction in my dream time several nights ago. I mean, it was the craziest thing I've ever experienced, ever. Taking out rage energy out of the solar plexus. So when you kind of lie to yourself, when you kind of say like everything's okay, but you believe it's really not, that's not working either. That is causing stress and auric fractures in your auric field, because this extraction, the shamanic extraction, and they didn't tell me it was coming. It was very bizarre. It was, and I didn't feel it. If I scanned my own field, like physically, I didn't feel that there. So it was living somewhere kind of in the subconscious realm where I couldn't really go in and find it. But when it was pulled out, it was like this huge lightness came over my physical body. And I'm like, you know what? The physical body is all I have here on this plane. And it's too precious a vessel to allow it to have all this heavy energy on it, because it's just going to continue to cause distress and dis-ease. And we've been talking about coming up here, the energy shifts to allow some of us to do miraculous healings. Well, you won't be able to do any type of work like that if you've got lower, if you've got energy in your field of distrust, especially distrusting the universe and what it's supposed to deliver, or the plan, or you always hear trust the plan, trust the process. No miraculous healing or healing that you want to do, however you're supposed to do it, is really going to be effective if you don't believe in it, if you don't believe in the divine, if you don't believe in yourself. So this morning I felt like, when I opened my eyes, like, okay, there's a shift here. And, in my conscience, I guess, in my thinking. And there's this energy stream. It's really always been there, because I looked back and I'm like, I've tapped into this before. But I couldn't really maintain it because I keep going back and forth. So this morning my guide said, you're at Kilimanjaro Base Camp. And if anyone's interested, I have toot my horn for a minute. They're saying this is a paid promotion for myself in the middle of my show. On YouTube is the easiest place to find them. I think they're on the podcast too. I believe I've made playlists for them in Spotify. But we did an ascension journey. We did an ascension journey, 3 years ago maybe, called Kilimanjaro. It's three videos, 3 shows. Base camp at Kilimanjaro. This is the mountain. So this is, whenever Kilimanjaro, the mountain, comes up, there's an opportunity and energies available to ascend and go higher, to higher states of consciousness. And if I recall, what happened in that journey is many of you on the show, oh my God, the wind, started out with me, and halfway up to mid-camp, some of you fell away and decided you were not going to do this type of journey anymore. Not the journey itself, but you fell back into, like you couldn't keep the vibration up that we were offering. And when I say we, I'm talking about me and the guides that are here leading this conversation. You couldn't keep that vibration high enough, and so you fell away. And I do recall some of our community members fell off and new ones came in. So I fully expect when the guides say we're at Kilimanjaro Base Camp that we're starting that process all over again. And based on some readings I heard yesterday about this Jupiter Uranus conjunction, it is the time for this to start happening again as a result of this energy shift, this conjunction, in all areas of your life, in your business world, in your friendship circle, in your personal relationships. So I'll try to link, I don't always remember, the Kilimanjaro workshop. I think I also have it on my website under the experientials page. It's listed there as well. But this is kind of where the rubber meets the road if you want to shift. But I told myself this morning, that's it. That's it. You need to stop being in resistance to your path. Even when I get grumpy and impatient, I have to find a better thinking thought. My goal over the next 2 weeks, because I think this was a 2-week journey the last time too, this Kilimanjaro thing, is to stay in this. It's really the energy of the Tao and of flow. Oh, this rock is super comfortable. But the experiment is for how long, an extended period of time, can I stay there? If I'm triggered, my big triggers are timing, certain people in my reality that I can't control that they're there or not right now. That's in the universe's control to shift those things. But there are many, many things. So the things I can't control, I've noticed, are becoming smaller. And the things I can control are becoming more options are opening up. And so the secret is, it's like parent guidance again, but I feel like we just have to keep reminding each other and ourselves, and the guides just keep reminding us, like, when we fall off track a little bit, when we're never really off track, it's all a learning experience. Because when you realize what you don't want, then you realize what you do want. Going towards these little picnic tables. Ouch. And I'm passing the Mars planet rock. And all these ancestral rocks. Okay, they want me to look at Mars, Earth, and Venus. Yeah, it's this balance of the divine masculine, the divine feminine, everything coming back into balance, everything always be, as long as you're affirming that things are for the highest and greatest good of all. Even finances are not completely under my control. I can do the best I can with what resources I'm given. I have a budget and all that. But I can't control the amount of resources that come to me. Believe me, I've tried. And so I've learned that all of that is part of this process, this divine plan and process of our lives. So let me just take a pause. So if you're guided to do anything over this next 2-week period, it's to assess where you currently feel you're at and know that there's always a higher relational reality, a better thinking thought, a more expansive way of doing things, and a more fun way of being. Because it's just totally, every time I think about it, the guys are like, it's kind of like tripping the light fantastic. Like, it is. It's back to throwing my hands in the air like I just don't care. And really, it really does then rise you up above timelines. Because Archangel Metatron came in strong today. Don't work with him all the time. He usually tends to come to me when there's big upgrades around, and we invoke Metatron's cube, which for me, when I use it, it's a part of, it's almost like a bismuth crystal. It's about putting things into divine order within your energy field and allowing these codes. I also got some ambassador codes, light language from Light Star, which is all about everybody working together. She just posted that a couple days ago, and the artwork on that is absolutely fantastic. It's all about family, just like the Ten of Pentacles card I was talking about. It's all about everybody working together. Us, bringers of the light, other starseed nations, other kingdoms within our planet. This is not new conversations. We keep having these same conversations, right, over and over again in different ways. The parrot guidance. We're not the only kingdoms invested in the ascension process and New Earth and all of that higher states of consciousness stuff. But is there light language you do want me to deliver? Okay, there was like a yes, but they want me to get out of the wind. So hold on. If I go down a little bit, this trail kind of goes up and down in elevation. Ha ha ha, up and down in elevation, just like my energy sometimes. My dog did not want to walk this morning. I figured that was divine intervention because it was fine. And then she went to the house and I was like, oh my God, they're clearing the way. They must want me to do, like the guides, must want me to do something. Bringers of Light HQ must want me to post, because then that gives me the opportunity to just walk by myself up here and do a show and avoid all the earthworms. So earthworms too. The other message that came up was you think you're small, you think you're this little bringer of the light who has no power over anything, but we're all part of this. We're part of the WWW, the World Wide Web that is beyond the internet, thankfully. Sometimes I keep sending some one of us here has got a mission to like send light, send healing, and help boost the timelines and energy potentials around AI and alternative technology. Someone here is here to balance the codes coming in that involve the internet and the dark web. That's not me. I don't feel like doing that. But if that calls to you, I mean, inadvertently, we're all doing it because we're all part of the same collective. I believe I'm talking to all of us in our soul group. And you know, you're out there and you're searching for content. And so much content's out there. I think about YouTube is like my primary resource for content because I have a premium subscription. I don't have to watch ads. And that's pretty much all I do when I want content is go to YouTube, and my guides will serve me up what I need. But there's so many channels, right? And when I look at the content of each channel, I'm like, these people are basically talking about the same thing. But 99% of them are not channels I want to watch for whatever reason. And then the ones I'm drawn to, I'm like, oh, this is a soul family member. I can tell just by looking in their eyes or by their energy field. We're a part of the same soul group. So we're all doing work. And you know, some people are delivering similar messages, but to lower consciousness beings. And it's still a good thing. Everybody's trying to help in their own way. Now, of course, we are out there amongst lower consciousness beings delivering content that I'd rather not imbibe in at all. But just use your discernment, and you'll always be directed to the right thing for you. Light language. Okay, I'm going to get up here to a special spot that when I look out over the city, I can see the river and the whole city. But sometimes I pretend it's California because the California coast is also a place where I draw a lot of power. And I think I've left some soul fractals of myself over there in certain parts of the California coast because I keep going back there. And I don't feel like pulling them in because they just give me intense power. So, for anybody looking for power spots or areas to claim a little energetic foothold, we work here on the show with new Lemurian light codes. I don't really work with Atlantis. That's for somebody else. That's for more of you AI people out there. I'm not ditzing AI. It has its place, but that's not my focus. But new Lemurian light codes are very strong from the Hawaiian Islands, my power spot, the whole west coast of the United States, all the way up to Canada, through Alaska. The St. Michael's line runs through Glastonbury, Stonehenge, Mount Shasta, Glastonbury Abbey, Roslyn Chapel, and I haven't even begun to work with the archipelagos yet. The blue, what is it, that blue area around the Greece area is another area I think we're going to be working with very soon. Oh my God, the wind. All right. So let's talk about this light language. What do you guys want me to do? Okay, they're saying this is a source code activation to bring you the same ambassador light codes that were delivered to me earlier this morning by Lightstar in my own way of doing them. And what this is going to do is it's going to reawaken your purpose, your mission, your drive, and your motivation, because all of those were totally lacking the past 4 or 5 days. I was like, nah, that sucks. And then I was like, I told myself too, if I can't work, then I just can't be on this planet. Like, I just have to work. I have to do my work here that I'm doing. Otherwise, I just feel like I'm this regular human being in the Matrix again. I'm like, no, we can't have that. My life force is being drained. So, by doing that. So let's get back on track. This is a call to action to get back on track. And you were never really off track. Even this past 4 or 5 days just showed you what you didn't want so that you know what you do want. So don't think about like, oh, 4 or 5 days lost. Just let's keep moving forward. With this light language, I do feel like immense healing probably took place over this past 4 or 5 days. If you experienced anything like this shamanic extraction I was talking about, it was super intense. But it wasn't one where after I remember coming out of it and going, oh my God, was that a demonic possession? And my guys were like, no, but kind of, because these feelings within you left unchecked, even in the subconscious. I'm gonna let this light language start coming in. Even in the subconscious, become in themselves an entity of sorts, not coming from demons outside of yourself, but coming from inner demons. So it could almost have been attributed to being like a demonic entity intrusion, but it was of my own making by continuing to think angry thoughts and, kind of stuffing them down in a way, not dealing with them because I felt like I had no control over the situation that was at hand. So let's just allow ourselves to relax. And believe me, if you need anything like that, I assume that the guides are just going to take care of you. That was not something that could have been done during waking hours. Even putting myself into a shamanic journey, I don't think it would have worked. I had to go to sleep. And when I woke up, I was like so chilled. And I went and told my son, like, oh, this dream. And he was non-responsive. He was like not caring. So I had to deal with that myself and kind of figure out like, what just happened here? Okay, but now we're ready to power up again. So if you've experienced any weird physical things, those should start to dissipate now as we raise the vibe. As you start to go back to your light work, your bringers of the light work, you'll be tripping the light fantastic, and your physical body will start feeling better again. Kratu is makaraha jaraka kurokur iraha nya greksa o nyara o krasjuraha. Take a deep breath. Okay. That was many different starseed nations. I almost couldn't even name them all. And the last one I've never done before, so I kind of want to know who it is. I keep asking, like, who is this? Oh, they're saying it was just the Galactic Federation. All right. So let's let that assimilate. And you may want to, if it calls to you, check out the Kilimanjaro Ascension series. I'm going to have to go back and refresh myself because I don't remember anything that happened. All I remember is the mid-camp, the second video, the second show where I could feel people in our collective falling away. People that I was close to, I was like, they're not going to make it to the top of the mountain, meaning to this higher state of consciousness. I could tell that they weren't making it and they fell away. So if that possibly is you, I'm sorry. I wish you well on your journey. But let's just see what happens here. We're going to continue to do check-ins. I said that much of this month was a wild card in terms of the shows we were offering. So let's just take it a little bit at a time. We'll see what's coming next. I'm not sure yet what's happening in Patreon. I have to deliver some light codes in there for our miraculous healing. Other than that, I'm kind of going to give this rest of this month to the guides to help direct me on what they want me to focus on, since I think because we're moving up to some other higher states of being, that the shows I've already planned out may get nixed in favor of some other things that they'd like me to focus on, which is fine. I'm staying flexible like we talked about at the beginning of the month. So that is all I have. I'm back to the beginning of the trail. I'm still dodging earthworms. Look up earthworms as a spirit animal, because I said at the beginning, you may feel like you're this little small bringer of the light who has no power, but go deep within. Your power hasn't gone anywhere. It's been there all along. And as you're part of this WWW worldwide web, even if it's just our small collective here at TLC for the Soul, then when two or more are gathered, there is immense power, purpose, and protection for the work that we're doing here. So I want to wish you all well, and we will chat with you again soon. Take care. This episode was brought to you by Tessa Locke's very own The Fish Store, fish and chips for the eclectic. Come on in and pick up our famous order number 5, the Tor Tower, and you'll be delivered a steaming pile of crackling, crunchy fish and chips. Welcome for dinner, lunch, or anything in between. The Fish Store for the eclectic.